Hey guys, welcome back. So today I thought I would do the end of the year book tag. I have seen this tag going around on BookTube over the last couple of weeks. I know Books and Lala did it. Ariel started the tag, I believe, and I thought this would be a fun one to participate in because one, it's not that long, and two, it's getting me hyped up thinking about all of the books that I have read and all the books that I still have to read. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the questions. First question, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Yes. I don't typically DNF a lot of books, but the number one book that is coming to mind is Six of Crows. Now, I started listening to this on audiobook probably towards the beginning of the year, and I was into it in the beginning, and then it kind of fizzled out towards like 2/3 into the book, and I just kind of pushed it to the wayside. And ever since then, I've been hearing so many great things about the series in general that I really want to get through this one so that I can finish the other books in the series, because I'm sure it picks up. I think the reason that it's been dragging for me is that I don't typically read fantasy, and I think maybe the world building that the narrator creates in the audiobook just kind of fell a little flat, which is probably why it's taken me so long to get through it. So I'm hoping that I can finish it up before the end of the year, especially since I really don't have that much longer to get through with it. Okay, so the next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Yes. So, of course, the typical answer that I want to give, and that I'm sure other people have given, are the Harry Potter series. But aside from that, I'm actually going to say anything by Mary Higgins Clark. And the reason that I say that is because all of her books are set in New York City, and there's something about New York in the fall that really gets me excited about transitioning into those cooler months. So all of her books are really well described in terms of the foliage and the kind of the vibe of the city as the seasons transition. So any of her books, really, you can't go wrong. And then on top of that, because they're mysteries, again, I'm in that darker mindset around that autumn, fall months. So those are perfect books for me to reread around this time of year. Next, we have, are there any new releases that you're still waiting for? Yes, I actually did a whole video on this. I will link it here. Here. I never know where to point, but I actually did a whole video about upcoming mysteries and thrillers that I'm excited about. And at the time that I did that video, all of the releases that I talked about were coming out either November, December, and January. So the two that I'm probably the most excited about are Never Have I Ever and The Dead Girls Club, both of which are coming out around, I think, the second week in December. Obviously, like I said, they're both mystery/thrillers. The Dead Girls Club is about a group of girls who get caught up in kind of like this Slender Man lore, and one of the friends dies, and we're left trying to figure out what happened with that. And then as far as Never Have I Ever, you also have a group of girls, I think they're teens in this case, and they play a game of Never Have I Ever. It goes horribly wrong, and then fast forward like 15 or 20 years later, you get a I Know What You Did Last Summer theme going on, where she receives an anonymous note saying, essentially, I know what you did. So both of those I'm excited about, and I'm hoping to at least get to one of them when it first releases, mostly because I don't want to accidentally stumble across spoilers. So the next one is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Oh man, I had to narrow it down to just 3. I'm gonna go ahead and say 1, A Sorcery of Thorns. I had this on my TBR right when it first came out, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get an ARC, and I haven't got it just yet. So now that I'm thinking about it, I need to hurry up and get it so that I can have it ready and waiting for me. The next book is Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered. Again, I'm gonna reference one of my videos that I did a little bit ago talking about my favorite murder books. That video was inspired by the My Favorite Murder podcast. As you guys know, if you saw that video, it's my favorite favorite podcasts. It essentially is about two women who kind of talk about their favorite murders, and they are so funny and they add just so much humor into such dark subjects. So when I found out that they had this book, obviously I added it to my TBR. It is nonfiction technically, but it's really entertaining because it's written by them, and so I'm assuming it has their humor interwoven. So I'm sure that's going to be a quick read and I want to check it out. And then lastly, this is kind of ambitious. The last book that I'm hoping to get to before the end of the year is any kind of classic. If you saw my video about authors who I've yet to read shamefully, you know that Jane Austen is one of them. And so help me God, I need to read Pride and Prejudice if it kills me. So I'm hoping by putting this out there, maybe I will finally haul ass and get around to it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have at least, well, I know for sure I own the book, but if I'm not mistaken, I think I actually own more than one version. So really, I have no excuse. Okay, so the next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so. Well, I hope so, but as far as books that I have on my TBR that I think could shock me and become the ultimate 5-star of 2019, I don't think so. And it's not because I'm not hopeful. I mean, I'm always hoping that the next book that I read is going to just blow me out of the water, but it's mostly because I'm such a mood reader that my TBR list is constantly changing. So to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to read before the end of the year. If I had to pick a specific book or a specific author, then I guess I would say Ruth Ware's In a Dark, Dark Wood. So far, I've read 2 of her books. I've read The Woman in Cabin 10, and I just finished The Death of Mrs. Westaway in October. And both of them were really slow paced for me and fell a little flat. I don't know if that's just her style or maybe I just didn't resonate with those 2 books, but if for some reason In a Dark, Dark Wood just is her pinnacle work, then yeah, I'll take it. Okay, last question. I told you guys this was short. So excellent, short and sweet. The question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2020? Yes and no. I don't have specific titles that I want to get to just yet, but I do know that I have certain videos lined up for next year that require certain genres of books, and I'm excited to get to those. I'm hoping to have some reads that are more thematic and I guess cohesive so that they go together for videos. And for that reason, I obviously have to plan it out. And so I've got some slots to fill to make sure that I meet my quota. Because I am such a mood reader, this is all tentative because who knows? But since starting BookTube, I have been a little bit more tuned into what I'm picking up. So I'm hoping that I can still plan ahead without making it seem like a burden, you know? Okay, so those are all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this short, sweet video tag. Let me know in the comments if you have done this tag yourself or if you want to just kind of answer any of these questions so we can talk about it. I'm always looking to add books to my TBR, as you guys know, so feel free to leave your suggestions. All right, guys, until next time, bye.